right, guys, we have a new trailer for Star Wars. Yay! I wish I could be more excited. I think Star Wars is in a really bad place right now. Probably the worst place it's been. Perhaps even worse than when the prequels originally were coming out in the late 90s and early 2000s. Not to say that there hasn't been some really good Star Wars content. I loved Andor. I loved Andor Season 1, of course, Rogue One, and I'm really looking forward to Andor Season 2. But when it's come to a lot of these TV shows, they've consistently disappointed me, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to the Book of Boba Fett to Ahsoka to most recently, The Mandalorian Season 3. It's been a little rough to be a Star Wars fan. I just feel like there's other sci-fi fantasy properties that are just doing it better right now, particularly when it comes to Dune, the recent release of Dune Part 2 and how, that was, so good. But we have a new trailer for The Acolyte, which I have heard a lot about this behind the scenes. Apparently, it was originally going to be focusing on the Sith. They were going to be positioned as the main characters, but I guess there was some massive reshoots for this show, and it just ballooned the budget, and they shifted away from it being focused on the Sith. Instead, they were going to be turning into a detective show, and that we were going to follow the Jedi in investigating the Sith or Sith rumors. I don't know if that's true. Maybe we'll get an understanding of that with this first trailer. The other things that I know is that it takes place during the High Republic era, which I know that Disney and Lucasfilm has been pushing for the last few years in terms of, in the comics and in books. I haven't read any of that, but I guess this is supposed to take place like 150 years around that time, before the events of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer. I'll come back with my thoughts. Very curious to hear your thoughts too, but let's go ahead and watch.
Close your eyes.
Some sad-looking kids.
Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them. Tell me what comes into your mind.
Oh, it's the main actor from Squid Games. Nice.
Life. Balance. I see fire.
Ooh. She's saying some interesting stuff. Trinity? Oh, pretty much Trinity.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, so there it is. Yeah, it's the investigation.
What happened?
I sensed darkness.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power.
Kind of is about good and bad, though.
And who is allowed to use it?
What is that?
Oh, is that it? Wow, short. 2-episode premiere, June 4th release date. All right, well, there you go. I guess they're pretty much confirming that this is going to be a detective show where the Jedi seem to be investigating these deaths, these Jedi that are being killed by the Sith. So, okay, that seemingly confirms that, which is disappointing because, I kind of wanted to, see a series from the perspective of the bad guys, of the villains. And we've gotten so much great television in the last 20, 25 years where the main character is a villain. And from things like The Sopranos to Breaking Bad to, Better Call Saul to you name it. I would have liked something like that, and at least based on this trailer, what I'm going off of right here, that doesn't seem to be the case, which is a little disappointing. I mean, you have some interesting actors here, of course. I forget the name of the actor who was the lead in Squid Games, but loved him in that show. It's like, okay, he has a lot of gravitas, I'm sure. And based on what I'm seeing, that seems to be in full display. Carrie-Anne Moss, always consistently very good, even if the films that she appears in aren't always great. But yeah, I gotta admit, I'm just kind of underwhelmed by this trailer. I don't know. I just expected something darker based on, I guess, the original descriptions of it, and the tone doesn't seem any different from any of the other Star Wars TV shows, or a lot of the films that we've gotten from Disney over the years. It's just kind of blah, to be perfectly honest. And I know they were saying that they were shooting on location, but I'm seeing a lot of use of the volume here. Which that's a little concerning. I wonder if that's the reshoots. Maybe initially they shot on location, but if they were doing the reshoots, probably that. So yeah, okay. I think it's just kind of like all right, I guess we'll see. I know that the period before the Phantom Menace, like in Legends materials in the books, like it's probably too far back, but you had Darth Plagueis introduced and his Sith Master, and then Darth Plagueis was the one that kind of initiated the Clone Wars and found Palpatine and things, and they worked together to get the Clone Wars rolling, of course, and so Palpatine being in a position of power, but really he's Plagueis behind the scenes. Like, I think that would have been a lot more interesting, to be perfectly honest. But at the same time, I don't want Star Wars just to be like a neighborhood. It's a galaxy. It's a Star Wars universe. Let's explore different parts of it. And I mean, they are doing that. It is take place like 100 years. I'm sure Yoda's going to show up. I'm shocked he wasn't at the end of the trailer. I'm sure he'll be in the next one. No doubt about it. But I don't know. Yeah, just tonally, it just feels like more of the same. Aesthetically, kind of a mixed bag. You have some talent in there, obviously, but yeah, I kind of feel nothing. I think that's in general, and that's just how I feel about Star Wars right now. Aside from Andor, which I absolutely love, and I'm so excited for Andor Season 2. Tony Gilroy is producing some great Star Wars content, no doubt about that. But yeah, everything else, I'm just like, yeah, I don't really care. I don't care about the Mandalorian Grogu movie that's coming out, Mando Season 4, Ahsoka Season 2, no thank you. I thought Ahsoka Season 1 it just kept getting worse and worse and worse as it went along, and completely wasted Thrawn. So yeah, I'm not. I don't know. It doesn't look awful, but it nothing about this is like exciting me all that much. But what about you guys? How do you guys feel about the Acolyte? Are you concerned that they apparently pivoted and moved away from this being a villain-focused show and seemed to be just making it a mystery show, a detective series with the Jedi, trying to find the Sith or these people that are killing the Jedi? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.